if you want to perform, you got to follow these rules. You have to practice a lot. Because without practice, you can't really go far. You can't really go so far. You cannot look out into the audience. It's tempting, but you cannot do it because then the audience feels kind of weird. Plus, they're not in the scene. Third, you have to like build up your self-confidence before you go onto the stage. Even if you're playing somebody timid, like Lawrence, it takes a lot of gut to like project still. You can't whisper everything or else the audience won't understand anything that you're saying. And
good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, or evening, if it is, which it is. It's 7 o'clock. This is your half-hour call. At this evening's performance, Sophia is on as Summer. Jason is on as Billy. Stephen Booth is on in this. Great.
Yeah.
He got it. Let's play a game while we're waiting.
Yeah.
Booty for one. Booty, bop, bop, bop. Can I do the bopper? Everybody make a circle. Let's play bopper.
Let's do a game where nobody's the main person.
Guys, I'm sorry. Make a circle.
That's zip, zap, zap.
Guys, everyone, let's play. Let's go. Let's play big. Yeah, we'll play ball. Nice. Back up.
It's ball of wall.
And guys, time out. Let's play ball of wall.
No, we're playing zip, zap, zap.
Wait, let's do a vote. Everyone close your eyes. Yeah, everyone close your eyes. Who wants to play ball of wall?
Wait, what are the options?
Well, I'll say them. So it's ball of wall, zip zap zop, bop 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 bop, and big booty. Okay, ball of wall.
Yeah.
Okay, hands down. Zip zap zop. Okay, hands down. Bop 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 bop. Hands down.
I started off playing with my ukulele at an audition, and then they're like, oh, cool, great, so bring your bass next time. And I'm like, I don't really play the bass, this must be a mistake. And then my dad's like, oh, maybe we should go to Guitar Center, you know, it's a good excuse to get a bass. And then I learned Teacher's Pet for the next audition, then I kept getting callbacks, and then I got the role.
Okay, ball of wall wins. Yes!
How do you play again?
I had to send in a video audition because they wanted me to come out here in 3 days. And I'm from Portland, Oregon, so that was kind of hard. And then after that, for my 2 callbacks, I had to fly out here for both of them. And we did dance calls and singing calls.
Carly will explain.
Okay,
Only one person.
so when you play ball of wall, everyone makes the ball of wall first.
Young rockers.
And then down.
Never mind.
You're not happy to see me?
No.
No?
We were gonna play a
Young
game.
maestros.
We're gonna play a game.
Let's turn on the piano. All right, let's get it on. Crank it up, Luke.
Where are the trumpets still?
Standing up straight. Nice and easy.
For my 9th birthday, my dad finally got me a singing lesson. I've always begged him for it. And I actually auditioned for the original cast. Didn't make it in then, but then I got a manager and got a little older, and I auditioned not too long ago, actually.
When I started musical theater, I found out that I wasn't very good at dancing and acting. So I took lessons appropriate to my weaknesses.
Thank you, young rocker.
The first time I ever played on a stage for my class of lunch, they had a talent show and I just went on, and I mean, I never had stage fright, and now instead of at a lunch meeting, I'm playing in front of 1,500 people, and it feels the same. I just pray to God
before I go on stage, and I don't think about the audience because the audience isn't really there right now when we're performing. It's just us in the classroom. You're kind of in the moment, and if I'm in another role, if I'm a different person, I feel like I'm not nervous.
When I get on stage, I feel this thing called the rush, which is the excitement and the fear mixed up together, and create this magical sensation in your body, which makes it feel like playtime, because it's what you love.
My routine every day is I get up, go to the shower, go to Starbucks, get my tea for my voice, and then I'll come to tutoring or I'll go to school. And then after that, I do the show. And then after that, I'll practice my guitar and go to sleep. It's basically eat, music, sleep, repeat.
A lot of the kids are homeschooled, a lot of the kids go to brick and mortar school, so it really depends on the kid. Right now I'm homeschooling, but a lot of kids are doing online school or going to school, so we're all different schedules.
My mom works at the middle school, and she's sending me the work that they're doing in class, and I just do it at home.
I go to a brick and mortar school on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, but on Wednesdays we have an earlier show, so we come here to do our work with our tutors.
You know what happened, no?
Yeah.
For every day of school they miss, they're required to do 3 hours of schooling. They come into school for 3 hours and then go right to the theater. In rehearsal, sometimes it's crazy because they have to rehearse all day. They have a day of rehearsal and we'll have to fit school in. So sometimes they'll do an hour of school, 2 hours of rehearsal, take a lunch, then an hour of school, then 2 hours of rehearsal. The good thing about most of these kids is they're very good individual workers, and they understand that part of their job is school. If they don't do the school part, they can't do the Broadway part. It's illegal.
The difference between going to a real school and what I do now, just doing work at home, it's a lot different because I don't need to wake up at a certain time, which is awesome, but also I'm not around other kids, which is sometimes really weird.
I'd rather go to regular school. You actually have your friends there. I'm just by myself, just doing my work, and at my old school, since I was in elementary, we got to do recess and I'd hang out with them all the time, but it's different now.
These kids are very much forced to be adults, even though they're kids, so they have a lot of responsibilities. So we really try to make sure that they can connect with kids their own age and relate to each other about how it is to do this kind of stuff together.
Excuse me. I hate this game. I hate it.
Before I moved here, I lived in California, and it's a big change from, the beach from a big, busy city. I also left my mom, brother, and sister back in California. I'm living here with my dad, so I was nervous about that, but I did it.
My mom and my other two little sisters are back home in Oregon because they still have to do school, and my mom has work. So my dad and I are here right now, but I miss them all the time, they miss me. It's but we FaceTime every day, and my family's really cool about it.
When I got involved in this job, Joanne Hunter asked me to be the assistant dance captain, and I don't have actually any formal dance training. She asked me primarily because of the children and making sure that they know that I'm somebody that they can go to if they need anything on stage, off stage. It doesn't matter, I'm there for them.
Left, right. Maybe smile for the camera. Y'all look miserable. Do you like working at School of Rock?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Go forward.
Are we gonna learn a dance today?
Maybe we should bring back an old dance.
They are in an age group where they're all really in the epicenter of growing up. And so they're curious, they're sometimes confused, and it feels so rewarding to ever be able to answer any of their questions.
I need you to help me review this. Okay?
No, view slide. That's like 2 seconds long.
No, not the view slide. The view slide is so easy. You're better than that. You're a dancer now. You're on Broadway. Okay. What is it? What have we got?
They bring such a fresh energy every single day. It's like you never really know what you're gonna get. There's just this energy in the building that they put off that is so exciting.
5, 6, here we go!
As an adult, you know, we have a totally different life. We have to put most of the money that we make away in different places and pay bills and that kind of thing. These children have no concept of that. They're not there for the money.
I don't even think of it as work, really. I love doing it every day, so I don't think of it like, oh, I'm going to work. I think of it like, yay, going to work, another day to just jump around on stage.
Chicago! Chicago! Jump, jump, back, squat, jump, 2, 3, 4. I love myself, rainbows! Oh my God,
It's so cool to be on a stage and you don't really have to, all of your thoughts clear and you don't have to worry about, school or anything you have in the real world. You're in this moment.
All right, open your eyes. One more deep breath up. Halfway down. I am ready.
I am ready
for an awesome Tuesday night on Broadway. I will be focused. I will have energy. I will be a team player. I will reward the audience with my gifts. And I will rock hard. Exhale.
Amen.
Excellent. Thank you. Have a great show.
The most fun part of the day is, well, there's 2 times. Walking in front of the theater and seeing my picture up just makes my heart melt every time I see it. And after the show, when I walk out and I'm doing signatures, I'm like, that was once me in that line waiting to get signatures. And now I'm the one giving out the signatures.
A lot of the kids either get too tall or, they outgrow the part. I am leaving in November. It's very hard to do 8 shows a week, but I've had such a fun time.
It's just been a great experience for me hanging out with these awesome kids every day, and I feel like I've made lifelong friends.
That movie, School of Rock, made me play guitar. I've never been an actor, but now I am, and they taught me how to sing better and act better, and maybe, who knows, maybe I'll be a Broadway star one day.